Hey guys, welcome to the how to deep clean your instrument video. This video is going to be for the brass instruments. That's going to be the trumpet, the French horn, the trombone, the baritone, and the tuba. Let's get started. If you're going to be doing this at school, you're going to need to make sure that you don't mix your instrument parts up with other people. So step number one is going to be to line your case with some paper towels, because we're going to want to keep all of your instrument parts in your case so that you know which ones are yours. All right, step number two is going to be to take your instrument apart. So start with the slides. If you've been greasing them every month like you're supposed to be, they should come right out. And then the next step is going to be to take off all your valve caps, tops and bottoms. So very frequently when we do deep cleaning, you're going to find that a piece of your instrument is getting stuck. If it's getting stuck, I want you to bring it to me immediately. I'm going to take the bottoms off as well. Oh, watch out for springs. My springs are actually attached to my valve casing. Not casing, that's the cap. But some of yours might not, especially some brands of tubas and baritones. Your spring might be loose. There are some brands of trumpet and baritone where your spring is actually inside your valve and you're not going to have to worry about it at all. So watch out for that. All right, here's another important thing to notice. Do you see how the valves are numbered? Number 1, number 2, and number 3. It is very, very important that you know which one is which, because they are not interchangeable. So you're going to need to look at your valves and look for the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your valves. Some brands do not have it, and on some brands you will find it inside here. And on this particular trumpet that I have, I do not see a number on it. So if you have that happen to you and your valves are not numbered, it's going to be very important to keep them at all times in the order that they go. I believe I currently have them in the correct order. We'll find out when I put it back together. And next step. All right, let's move on to the next step, guys. Step number 1 is going to be to disinfect your mouthpiece. You've had all kinds of hot Cheetos up in this sucker this year. We want to make sure that the next kid isn't going to be getting to taste all of that. So this isn't the disinfectant that we normally use at school, but it's what I've got, so it's what I'm going to use right now. You're going to spray it down, inside, outside, and then you're going to let it sit for a few minutes before you actually clean it. Set it over on the side. All right, the rest of the parts of the instrument, we're going to go ahead and grab them. So we're going to move over here now to our tub that is filled with water and dish soap. I like to use Dawn because it's extra grease removing, but you can use any kind of dish soap. You can also pour some of the disinfectant into the tub. And remember, we said if you're doing this at school and there's lots of people around you, you don't want to get your parts mixed up. So normally I'm going to tell you to put in one item at a time. So what you'll need and what I will have at school for you is this tub of different kinds of brushes. So when you are needing to go down your slides, you're going to need to get one of these snake brushes, and that's going to be a long tube that has got a brush on the end of it. So go ahead and put all of your parts into the tub. Some people will tell you to let them soak for a little while. It's not really all that necessary. And then you're going to clean the inside of your instrument, and the important thing is going to be to make sure to not get that stuck down in the end. There's no reason to shove it through. If it starts to feel like it's having trouble going through, just take it out. Don't try to force anything. After you're done getting it all soaked up and brushed out, you're going to put it into the rinse tub. All right, next I'm going to grab the valves. Once again, keeping them in order if yours are not numbered. So there's different kind of brush choices for this. I like to use the toothbrush to get underneath the caps. Some directors will tell you before you do this to take the felt and cork pieces out of the valve. I really don't find it to be necessary to do that, but it is important to get everything in here really clean. So, and then if you're going to leave them on, make sure that they get really dry before you are putting it away. Okay, I'm also going to use one of these straight brushes. This is going to get into all of the holes of the valve. There's some grossness right in there. There we go. And then a spot that a lot of people forget is the bottom. This is actually where all of the crud will get stuck. If your valve is starting to stick on you, it's going to be either a dent or it's going to be that you've got crud on the bottom of your valve that is sticking down into the bottom casing. Okay, we're going to grab the body of the trumpet. Now, if you have got a tuba or a baritone, you are not going to be able to get your entire instrument into these tubs that we'll have at the classroom. So you are actually going to end up having to do this with a water hose that I will be providing on the side. You can also, if you want to just do this at home, you can stick the instrument inside a bathtub and that will get the larger instruments actually in it. And we're doing the same thing, just throwing our different types of brushes through all the different slides. All right, so now we need to let it dry for just a little bit. If you let it dry too long, it's gonna get watermarks on it. So I'm gonna place it on the paper towels in my case, keeping my valves in the same order. I forgot these. While that is drying for a second, I'm going to grab my mouthpiece that's been soaking in the disinfectant and I'm going to come do it. Now, for some people like to use these brushes. You can also use Q-tips though. Either one works well. And then while that trumpet is drying a tiny bit longer, I'm going to go ahead and just show you the only difference here for trombone slides. For those of you who've never taken it off all the way, I want to show you that you would be separating that out and you would definitely be using a hose for this one at the school to get inside. The spot on the trombones that gets gunked up the most is this area right down here at the bottom. See what I got on my hand there? Okay, so this is going to be the area that you're going to want to work on the most. All right, at that point you would use a hose to spray some water all the way through. And then, like I said, down at the bottom of your slide, it's gonna have a whole bunch of gunk in it. Try to get some water in there. Not gonna happen right now. Don't force it because you can make it get stuck. Ooh, that was kind of fun. I got some water coming out there that time. All right, ready, set, and if you are a French horn player and you're getting ready to clean your instrument, you will get a lot of water stuck inside. Have fun getting all of that out. All right, I'm gonna set these aside to dry now. All right, Mr. Trumpet has air dried long enough. A big mistake that my students make is that they try to use the polishing cloths just to dry their instrument. That is a big, big mistake. You don't want to use your polishing cloth to dry your instrument because your polishing cloth has got special chemicals and oils in it that are supposed to make your instrument shiny. And if you get it wet, it's going to take some of that out and then it won't be as effective, okay? So, woohoo! You're just going to towel dry the outside of your instrument. Let's go ahead and re-grease our slides. When you're re-greasing your slides, you don't want to use too much. If you can see it, it's too much. Right now, I'm just using some Vaseline, but we use different kinds of slide grease. So it doesn't have to be this one. Whatever I'm telling you is the slide grease that we have in stock, that's the one you're going to use. So you shouldn't be able to see it, and when you push it in, you shouldn't have it come squishing out the sides. If you put too much, it's going to come out everywhere. All right, so now we're going to do the valve caps for the bottom. I like to take a little bit of the Vaseline or slide grease and put it here on. Okay, time to re-oil our valves. Valve oil can stain your clothes, so I always recommend doing it over a trash can or over the ground. Here I've got this nice little concrete area, and you don't need a lot, so it's just going to be a tiny bit. Boink, boink, boink. All right, do not squeeze the valve oil. If you just turn it upside down, it's going to come out naturally. If you are a trumpet baritone tuba player, you might have these little slots on the inside of your valves. So you will see a groove here and then a bump on the valve. Make sure that you line that up. It's completely possible to put these in backwards, especially on trumpets, if you have two grooves. So if you have two, what it's going to happen is the number that is on the valve is going to face towards the trumpet. And if you get it in and it doesn't work, just try flipping it around the other way. It's completely possible you've got it in backwards. All right, I think there's a chance I got these mixed up because I was talking and not paying attention. So we're going to test this and we're going to see if I got it put back together right. It's always important to test it before you put it away. I guess I didn't mess them up. Oh yeah. If you do get them messed up, remember you can try just turning them around and seeing if you got them put in backwards. If that doesn't work, then you're probably going to have to bring it to me to get fixed. I like to use lacquer polish first before I rub it up. Let that sit for a second. While I'm letting that sit, I'm going to mutzers in your case. Alright, so you're going to grab one of the polishing cloths and you're going to rub that polish in, get all the fingerprints off, make your instrument nice and shiny. All right, guys, that is it. I'll see you in class.